What's a fun little fact about yourself? Story 1. I have no pericardium. When I was 6 months old, I had bad acid reflux, and doctors were concerned about damage to my esophagus. One CT scan later, my esophagus was okay, but they saw a hole in my pericardium, which is the sac of protective fat around the heart. Now, this is a problem because as I would grow up, my heart could start to grow through the hole and choke itself at some point, killing me out of the blue. So at 7 months old, I had heart surgery. They went in all ready to patch the hole, only to find what had looked like a hole on the scan was actually the pericardium. All of it that formed, at least. I am one of 23 people at that time, if I remember correctly, who had been found to have this while alive, and not post-mortem during autopsy. They removed the small piece that was all that had formed on gestation, so I have no pericardium. It does not affect me negatively in any way, and I'm immune to pericardial diseases. Not that many exist, to my knowledge. I tried to get into a military academy, so I had to see a cardiologist to get certification that it was a non-issue. He confirmed I could do anything I wanted, heart health-wise. DOD-MERB, DOD-MERM, didn't change their decision though. Too long didn't read. I don't have a sac of fat around my heart, unlike most people. Edit 2. Added note about DOD-MERB decision. They didn't change their mind. Still had a gestational heart defect in their minds. I still have a large scar below my man boob and 3 small parallel lower down from endoscope/expiratory, I was told. Oh, that's so interesting. Technically, the fat is still there, attached to the heart, but the serous fluid, which is contained by the sac, is gone, which is pretty neat. No pericarditis for you. My mom also doesn't have a pericardium. She had a huge, very rare form of heart cancer. The tumor had invaded all along the upper septum, the part that runs down the middle and separates the left and right sides of the heart, so they used the pericardium to rebuild the septum after removing the tumor. It was an 18-hour surgery, and she was in the ICU for almost 2 months. But she's doing great today. Story 2. Sue Perkins once said I was a good drummer. Edit. Well, this blew up. Story is, I basically auditioned for a TV show called Band for Britain, where they wanted to put a traditional colliery brass band back together in some dead-end ex-mining town in Yorkshire. I went along, played a bit of kit, and was offered a place on the training band, but couldn't make it every week. Beyond the brief statement from Sue, I appeared in the show for all of about 4 seconds. Bonus content, the guy with the dreads who auditioned for drums got into the band, but I believe he got kicked out later. He did, however, turn up on TV again when he was a contestant on Take Me Out. I used to share a practice room with him. Did she see you playing live with the band? See, this is why I love this fact. It always brings curiosity. I had posted an advert online saying I was looking to play drums in a band. I got a call from a TV production company saying they were setting up a show where they'd put together a colliery brass band in an ex-mining village outside town, and they asked if I'd like to come and audition, and that Sue Perkins was presenting it. So, of course, I went, auditioned, had my 5 seconds of fame, and she said that I was good. The rest of the panel said maybe I'd need to join the training band, as I don't know music theory. I would have done, but I had a Saturday job, so I couldn't make it. The end. Story 3. I have timespace synesthesia. My mother also experiences it, and there have been studies done that do suggest it's genetic. I cannot even comprehend that. Probably exactly like you probably cannot imagine what it must be like for people who do not have it. That is really fascinating. Yeah, I really can't. Funny enough, it wasn't until a few years ago that I even realized it was an abnormal experience. It's always been a part of my reality, so I never questioned it. One day I was talking with my friend about remembering dates and referenced my mental map. He was confused and asked me to clarify, and I said something along the lines of, yeah, you know how you see your calendar and stuff. Is yours different than mine? Where is your Wednesday? And my friend was just like, I have absolutely no idea what the F you're talking about. I was so confused and thought something was weird with him. Started Googling and discovered time-space synesthesia was a thing, which led to having a conversation about it with my mom and discovering she has it too. We experience our maps differently, but it functions the same as far as how we access memories. I intellectually understand that for everybody else, dates and time, etc. is just a concept, but I can't imagine what it's like to not feel it in your body or see it in your mind. That has got to be one of the most fascinating things I've heard. The human mind is utterly fascinating. Story 4. I tied on the world record of the smallest paper ship ever folded. In 1992, my ship was 2 millimeters in length. Also, I folded a paper plane with a span width of 2 millimeters. Wow, thanks. Never thought this one would get such attention. I'm very sad to tell that it was basically impossible for me to photograph them when I was 11. Makes me even sadder to think how easy it would be nowadays. The following happened to them. I put them in a small glass tube and showed them around along with a loop. People loved them. Then I forgot about it for a few years, and when I tried to have a look at them again, they simply disappeared. See, my theory is that since I didn't use gloves, sweat and acids decomposed them over time. I was heartbroken, to say the least. I still love building small things, though, like a 3cm Basetta star, module origami, 1/24th scale ukulele, and stuff like that. Dang, that's pretty insane. How freaking tiny are your hands? OP is really an ant. Story 5. I actually do remember your name, birthday, what you like and dislike when we first meet. Everything. It's just that people find it really creepy, and I've learned it's better to act I forgot rather than know we met each other on a rainy day in October when you held the door open for me and made a bad joke about how the weather is for the birds. Oh, to have such a powerful memory. I wish. Truth is, I can only remember what people did to me, usually bad things, and random facts about my interests. I have a really good long-term memory. It's exceptional. I also have ADHD, so it's rare stuff actually goes there. But when it does, oh boy. I am the exact same way. If my brain finds something important, it will store it in permanent cold storage. There are times where I'll be in a conversation, and all of a sudden I remember a stupid fact about something I heard or saw 10 years ago. I can't tell my brain to remember stuff when I want, but what it does hold on to is rock solid and in there forever. Story 6. I have no sense of smell and never had. Whenever I tell this to people, their response falls into one of 3 categories. Number 1, oh, that's so unfortunate. You don't know how good X smells. Number 2, you're so lucky you don't have to know how X smells. 3, so if I fart in your face, you won't notice. I've yet to receive a different response aside from those, and you'd be surprised how many unrelated people told me number 3. It's impressive. I feel for you, dude. Lost my sense of smell and taste from a concussion almost 6 months ago. I imagine it's easier to have never been able to smell than have the sense for 50 plus years and then lose it. I lost my sense of smell from a concussion back in college. It took about 6 months for smells to start coming back. Even today, some things smell weird to me, as in I don't process some things well. What is sharp and acrid to others is rather mellow to me, but overall the sense is back. So take heart, you just have to keep smelling things till you notice something, then focus on it. Story 7. That I think of good jokes about every bad situation automatically, but usually don't say them. Oh, same here, man. I'm sick and twisted with my humor. My mom told me a story the other day. Her coworker went to Art Vandelay Furniture, and they were walking around. All of a sudden, the lady's daughter pulls a gun and aims it at her own head. Lady flips and tries to wrestle the gun away. Daughter ends up winning the battle and committed seppuku right there in the middle of the store. My husband, after the story is over, price is so low they'll blow your mind. The only reasonable response to that story, though. Story 8. I beat cancer. Twice. 2 completely separate and unrelated cancers. Hoping there's no third time's the charm. Sorry, but I want to give a shameless shout out to the Cancer Hope Network. Great organization that puts people who are diagnosed with cancer in touch with someone else who has experienced that same cancer to help them through this difficult time. If you or someone you know is going through a battle with cancer, I would highly recommend reaching out to them. The emotional stress and worry of being diagnosed with cancer is often not spoken about. Talking with someone who has walked in your shoes can really help. Your body was like, no. Story 9. I have central heterochromia, which means that both of my irises have 2 colors in the form of concentric rings. While complete heterochromia, each eye equals different color, is noticed by people, central confuses people. If I ask anyone if she knows what color my eyes are, nobody knows, like their brain can't decide what it saw. Every time when I'm asked what color my eyes are, I say, "You tell me." I get blue, green, brown, hazel, or an occasional "what the F?" I don't have heterochromia of either type, I just have weird irises that seem to be mottled, and different lights bring out different colors. All my siblings have blue eyes. My license says blue, but they look brown in the photo. Story 10. I have a tooth in the roof of my mouth. I had no idea it was there until I was 17, and my dentist was baffled. They refused to remove it because they say it's not hurting me. My mother had it too. She didn't remove it either. Braces were enough to bring it back to its correct position. Amazing. I'm getting the exact treatment now. In fact, I had a baby tooth and an adult tooth both come through from the center of the roof of my mouth. I'm 2 years into having braces, and the tooth has moved almost all the way across my mouth. Still about a year to go, but I'm amazed it's even possible. Story 11. I was clinically unalive. Twice. Please say there's backstory to this. There was a seizure, and I woke up in the back of an ambulance, and everybody looked so dang relieved. Despite being gone for a few minutes, I hopped out of the ambulance when it arrived at the hospital, and the doctors were like, "Nah, bro, you ain't walking that off." Spent 3 weeks in there. I was 9 years old. Months later, same thing happened. Then I got onto heavy medication, and thankfully haven't had a seizure since. I'm completely healthy and turning 22 in a few weeks. Oh my, very serious. Also, happy early birthday. I'm 21 next month. Story 12. I once held 14 world records in SSX 2012. Thanks for all the questions and comments. Great to meet SSX players on here. I see some gamers are worried about arthritis. Just be aware of it. If your hands are hurting, then take a break. Easy to say, I know. Don't ignore the signs. Nice. I love that game. Dug out my old PS3 to play it not so long ago. I was never any good, but it's fun as frick, and music is on point. I got pretty good at it, but I've now retired from SSX. I have arthritis in both hands, and my PS3 is kaput. Story 13. I was born at 25 weeks, 1 pound, 10 ounces, with 0 birth defects. 24 years old, happy and healthy. Amazing. It was a complete miracle. Another extremely odd circumstance, and I'm not BSing you, but bear with this story. In the 1970s, my city opened its first children's cancer ward, and my aunt was the only survivor of leukemia out of 86 children. Granted, the process to get into remission took longer than nowadays. Out of my NICU, I was the only premature baby out of 30 in my cycle to come out unscathed. I was the last patient for the same doctor who took my aunt in as his first cancer patient. Was your story published in the Danish media or something? I could swear I've heard it before. Story 14. I turned legal drinking age in the place where I lived at the time 3 times in my life. First, when I was 16. Then when I was 17, they increased the legal age to 18, so I turned legal drinking age again when I was 18. When I was 20, I moved to where the legal drinking age is 21, so I had to wait a couple of months again. This happened to my brother in New York State. At one point, he was working for a beer distributor when he became unlegal again. Didn't they grandfather in anyone that was already legal? Story 15. 50% of the time, I can get all the coins in Super Mario 3, World 1-4, resulting in the appearance of the White Mushroom Shop. I stand corrected. I said ghost ship, I meant White Mushroom Shop. I do both, but I'm proud of the 1-4 challenge. 1-3 is where you get the secret whistle for those correcting the level. 50% of the time, you do it every time. I've been playing Super Mario 3 since I was a child, and I still learn new things about it. I had no idea about how this ship of coins appears. Story 16. I was voted most likely to be out of dress code my senior year of high school because I was constantly getting in trouble for it. Additional fun fact, in that picture, I'm actually breaking dress code a few times because my hair was too long. I'm wearing sunglasses indoors, my shirt was probably untucked, and that hoodie is also out of dress code because it wasn't an official school hoodie in their colors. Why do you look like Ian from Smosh when they first started making skits? Cannon penis. Story 17. I've mastered moving my eyes independently because when I was 6, a Discovery Channel video of a chameleon told me I couldn't do it. Apache helicopter pilots are trained to do this. Difficult, but doable. Not a skill I've been able to learn. Apparently, when I originally learned this, I was either told incorrect information or I misinterpreted when it meant to control each eye independently, taking in instrument readings with one eye from a helmet-mounted display and looking at external conditions with the other. Story 18. I can cry or throw up on command. Edited to say or instead of and. Too many complaints about wording. I can throw up on the spot as well. Haven't found a good use for it just yet. I know one. Whenever a D-bag grabs an acoustic guitar to play Wonderwall during a party, walk up to them and puke at their shoes. It's like a defense mechanism, like the ocular blood laser lizard. Makes it sound like you can only do both at the same time. Story 19. I was top 5 worldwide in Minecraft Classic CTF for a time. Go me? Edit. Well, man, this really blew up. This was back in classic days. Servers were Jacob_S CTF and Vexillum Gaming. Jacob's is still going strong, but the original leaderboards were lost in server and site transitions. IGN was Mars Kid. I haven't played in a while, but I think there's still a small scene. Mate, leave some ladies for the rest of us, jeez. I won Friday Night Magic once. Blue-White Flyers 5-0. Story 20. I still got milk teeth. I'm 19. I had 4 baby teeth when I was 17. Dentist was like, nah, screw this stuff. 2 minutes later, I had no baby teeth. Adult teeth just moved right on in afterwards. It's like they were just being polite and patiently waiting for the baby teeth to pop out. My new dentist just informed me that the tooth that fell out last month was a milk tooth. I'm in my 30s. Story 21. I really love polishing things, but only when I don't have to. Like if I have to polish the silver because fancy company is coming, or my shoes for an upcoming event, I don't want to do it. If I'm just polishing the silver because it's something I want to do, then I'll enjoy it and take my time. I was the same with my shoes when I was in cadets. Could see yourself in them bad boys. Story 22. I grew up in a Mennonite family. Are you still together? It sounds like you may have separated from them. I hope you're doing well. I'd like to hear your story. Yeah, we are actually very close. I did leave and ended up in a crippling drug addiction for about 10 years. I've been clean over 3 years now, and they're just happy and relieved for that. I see my parents often, and our relationship is better than ever. Story 23. According to my mom, the first time I was ever in front of a TV was when 9/11 happened. Better not watch TV again. Mother, TV is terrible for children. Father, TV isn't that bad for the kid. Mother, fine, this is a TV, sweetheart. TV. Breaking news, thousands have died in the worst event in U.S. history. Run for your lives. Mother, the frick did I tell you, Tom? Talk about a baptism of fire. Story 24. I was born without wisdom teeth. If I go to a new dentist, they often look at the x-rays and comment that I had my wisdom teeth removed. Nope, never had any. You're the next step in our evolutionary lineage. Only if lots of people want to reproduce with this guy because of this fun little fact. Well, they may not want to reproduce with me if they are aware of another fun little fact. Story 25. I played Baby Jesus in a play. I slept through it, a recurring theme in my life. Sleeping through events or pretending to be the son of God. Story 26. I missed the bombing of the Boston Marathon because I had a bad headache and decided loud noises would be a bad thing. When I say loud noises, I meant the people who decide they need to cheer at everything. Good choice. Your headache would have gotten worse. Or better, depending on how close to the bomb they ended up. Can't get a headache if you've got no head. Taps air. Story 27. I wrote in my journal every day since 2009, so I have an account of all my thoughts since the past 10 years, and I can see how I grew as a person since I was 15. Sometimes I cringe when I read something from back then. Those are treasures, though. I don't actually think I'd want to read my thoughts from that far back. That stuff can stay in the past. Story 28. I constantly hear music in the back of my mind, like background music when you watch a movie. The tune is always dependent on my mood. I don't hear it per se, but I always have a song playing in my head. Sometimes it changes based on something I see or hear, but most of the time it's random, and it's not always songs I actually like. Story 29. I can fit an entire double cheeseburger in my mouth. McDonald's, Wendy's, and Burger King tested. I guarantee you that this is a fetish for someone out there. I really could start selling videos of this. Story 30. I can touch my elbows together, the wrong way. Oh my, so many images running through my head. Have your hands on your knees, sitting down, and push your elbows away from you, spinning away from your body. I can keep spinning my arms until my elbows touch. Also, with this ability, I can bear crawl like a freaking demon. Story 31. My cells are all powered by an absolute powerhouse of an organelle called the mitochondrion. Edit. It appears I forgot my cellular biology. Be gentle with me. Story 33. I have a small patch of perfectly white hair just above my cooch. It was once described as looking like my vagina was cosplaying as Rogue from X-Men. So, a superpowered vag that absorbs genital memories of whatever it comes into contact with. Someone's been reading my Tinder bio. Story 34. I have 2 pet frogs that are likely older than most people in this thread. Oh dang, I'm 20. How do your frogs compare to me? They got you beat by 5 years. They've seen some stuff. Oh dang, I want to know their wisdom they hold. Story 35. Got 3 nipples. Are you sure it's not a nubbin? The source of all my powers. Oh dear God, what have I done? Chandler? Story 36. I can shake my eyes back and forth really fast for an indeterminate amount of time. See r/eye shakers. Hey, wow, I can do that too. I don't think I've known anyone else who can do that. Story 37. I'm physically incapable of feeling dizziness. Now that's interesting. Well, thank you. As far as skills go, it's pretty useless, but at least I can show off at amusement parks. We'll see how that helps you when I attach you to a rocket-powered merry-go-round. Story 38. In the year 2045, I will be 67, and my birthday will be 012345, and I will be 6'7", throwing a big party. Edit, yes, you can all come. Bring a hot dish. Also, if you add 01 plus 23 plus 45, it equals 69. Nice. Story 39. I can't think of a fun fact about myself. That in itself is interesting. Is it though? Yes. It just means you haven't found a small little fact about yourself yet. Could be anything, like I have smaller than average hands. Story 40. My hair, eyebrows, and beard are all naturally different colors. My hair is blonde, eyebrows dark brown, and my beard ginger. Also, for anyone interested, my pubes are also ginger. Story 41. I can draw the map of Middle-earth from memory alone. I also remember the opening lyrics of every single cartoon I watched as a child. Talk about selective memory. Story 42. I can turn my hand 360 degrees around. Read that as head at first. Was picturing you were an owl. That's some voodoo stuff, man. Story 43. I turned 11 on November 11th, 2011. Edit 11/11/11 for the non-Americans. That's hilarious. Did you get Skyrim for your birthday? Story 44. I am one of a few thousand people who have ever actually walked around at the geographic North Pole. Story 45. I can independently control my uvula. I misread this in a terrible way. So it's a girl's house. Story 46. I can suck in air through my left eye socket. Weird flex, but okay. Weird indeed. Story 47. I'm exactly 2 years, 2 months, 2 days older than my brother. Story 48. My last name is Small, but I'm 6'5". Please leave your stories in the comments. I'd love to make a video of them in the future. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.